Hey there, folks. This is Vera Wild over at Council of Geeks, and I'm throwing this together really quick because I suspect there are a fair number of creators out there who probably don't know this information, and it would help for them to have. Now, if you don't already know my stuff, I run actually several different channels, but my biggest one is Council of Geeks, where I talk geeky material, but also LGBTQIA plus representation and issues affecting it in pop media. My latest video was an update on what has been going on at the BBC and their transphobic news coverage. Now, something that was brought to my attention by a friend of mine was that ads for Matt Walsh's transphobic screed, What is a Woman, were playing on my video. Not only were they playing at the front, it was actually playing in every single advertising slot that I had set up. So, this is not a new problem, but I haven't seen it this bad in a while, because I've never heard of the exact same ad running in every spot. So this was something I needed to deal with. And I suspect most creators don't actually know how to do this because it's not intuitive. You would think if you're trying to work on things or restrict who is running monetization and ads on your channel, that you would do it from your channel monetization page in YouTube Studio. That would make absolute sense. You would also be wrong. YouTube is not devoid of ways to control who is advertising on your channel, but it is buried somewhere where you probably wouldn't think to look. Where you have to go, and I'm going to do this as cleanly and step-by-step as I can, is you actually have to go to Adsense. If you are not monetized on YouTube, you may not even know what Adsense is, but basically it is the aspect of Google, the site, app related to Google that handles monetization. Now, it dates all the way back to when they were monetizing things like blogs and all the rest of it, but even as YouTube became massive business, this is still what everything runs through. So, you need to sign into AdSense, and pretty much right away, we're going to get our first annoyance, because if you are like me and have multiple accounts, which I have to have, because as I said, I have multiple channels, only one of those is actually tied to my AdSense. And in this particular case, it is the Vera Wild account, because that was the first channel I monetized, was the Vera Wild channel, despite the fact that it is not the largest one that I currently run. In any case, let's log on in here. And here's our first issue, which is that if you are using Chrome or any other browser in a way that you are signed into multiple accounts that you just jump between, it won't let you do it that way. You have to sign out of everything that is in the AdSense account. So right off the bat, we've got a barrier of annoyance, which is actually surprisingly effective. A lot of people just go, oh, this is irritating, and either get confused or frustrated. This is going to cause some people to drop off right off the bat. But you need to continue forward. It's telling me that I'm signing out, syncing is pausing. It's going to ask me, do I sign in again to Council of Geeks, which is the one I use the most? Actually, no, I'm not going to do that, because I do that, it'll send me back to square one, because it won't let me sign in as Vera Wild if I'm still signed in with this. So instead, we hit continue, and we go through this again. Hi! AdSense. Now, don't worry about these actual numbers, because this is actually showing numbers from an old blog that I used to have that I don't even know. I guess it's technically still up. I don't know. So ignore all this. Ignore all the dashboard stuff. This is not going to be reflective of any of your YouTube earnings, because you go to channel monetization for that. You'll notice I'm currently getting a notice that I am signed out because it made me do it for some really stupid reason. We got to go over here to blocking controls. So let's pull that up. And we're going to head down to YouTube host. And this is going to be all my channels, because I have all of my channels monetized through the exact same AdSense account. Now, we have a few different ways to deal with this. By category, broken into sensitive and general categories, or by advertiser URLs. Stick a pin in this one, we will come back to it. Let's start with general and sensitive categories. So what this basically means is you will not have direct control over exactly who is or isn't running ads. But what you can do is you can block certain categories of ads. Now, it only lets you do it to the broad categories, not subcategories. So you'll notice in the broad category of, say, apparel, there are 18 different subcategories. You cannot block a specific subcategory, but you can block or allow the entire category. Now, this is the first thing. I knew about this feature, and I had certain things blocked, actually in the sensitive categories. I'll show you that in a minute. But it was really difficult to know exactly how Matt Walsh was categorizing his quote-unquote documentary. Odds are it was categorized under arts and entertainment. I'd seen some things related to him categorized under comedy, which would have been a subcategory of this. And if I block all of that, that means that's 23 subcategories of arts and entertainment. So things like movie trailers, trailers for TV, anything related to that would just be blocked and those ads wouldn't run, which would, I guess, work if I correctly guess on which subcategory or overriding category he's running his ads in. Unfortunately, it would be a guess, and it would basically be like, it would be trying to weed a garden with a shotgun. It's going to probably do more damage to me than to them. So let's back out. Sensitive categories. Now, this I had messed with before, and I had already blocked certain sensitive categories. And these are things that it is actually kind of nice that Google separated these out from the rest, that these are the sorts of things that folks tend to be more likely to not want. So things like dating apps, drugs and supplements. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that off. But I had already blocked political ads, get rich quick ads, religious ads, sensationalism, alcohol and gambling. So those were already blocked on my channel from being able to run ads. However, Matt Walsh's stuff still slipped through. Now, here's where we get to the last thing, which is what I hadn't been making use of before. And honestly, it's been long enough since I've had to mess with this, because the last time I had problems with this was about 6 years ago. I don't know if this was an option back then, but it is now. Advertiser URLs. And here, you can put in a specific URL, and if it is one that is set up to run ads, it'll show up in a search, and you can then block any ad that is tied to that particular website and business. You'll notice that I kind of have a list of them here. Daily Wire was the one I set up initially because that's what Matt Walsh is doing his nonsense through. But I basically put in a small handful of types of media and accounts and propaganda machines that I otherwise don't want advertising on my channel regardless. I'll probably make a longer list. This was just what I came up with off the top of my head that I definitely didn't want running on my channel. So this is where you want to go if you've dealt with specific categories that you thought should have blocked stuff, but you're still getting nonsense you don't want. Find out the website that it's attached to, which you can actually usually see listed in the advertisement box, which it helps to look and set it up so you are looking at it from an account other than the one that the stuff's actually running on. So you might actually have to sign out of YouTube and then see what happens. But you can find out what .com this is tied to and then block it in specific. Now, this is annoying. It's out of the way. We should not be responsible for this. We should have better control than having to go to freaking Google AdSense to be able to do this. But we do have the power to stop them. So go there, go to your AdSense, look at this stuff, set up categories to be blocked, set up specific sites you don't want to deal with, and they will not be able to run ads on your videos. Hopefully, they will probably find a way around this, and I'll have to do more stuff in the future, but for right now, that's where we are. Hope you found that helpful, and happy Pride.